Elon Musk may be on the verge of doing something that seriously threatens Donald Trump's presidency. This on-again, off-again relationship between two of the most toxic billionaires in America, and that's saying something, has been one of the ugliest and most damaging aspects of Trump's entire administration. And now, after Elon Musk was publicly exposed by Trump's own White House and responded with a massive new election bombshell, this situation is only getting worse. Somehow. Even while competing with Donald Trump, Elon Musk remains the single most disliked figure in American politics. There is no one more broadly despised than Elon Musk, and with the announcement he just made, he's about to give Donald Trump yet another reason to turn on him completely. As MAGA continues to rip itself apart from the inside and the midterm outlook looks increasingly disastrous, this clash couldn't come at a worse time for Trump. We're going to break down all of it. But before we do, if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy the work we do, hit that subscribe button because it really does go a long way in supporting the channel. Now, before we dive into Elon Musk's latest bombshell, we need to set the stage for where Donald Trump currently stands. The midterms are the single biggest factor in determining whether his presidency can stabilize at all, or whether the next 2 years will be completely consumed by investigations and political fallout. To understand that, we have to start with how things are shaping up right now. Harry Enton broke down the polling, and it paints a very clear picture.
Trump was elected to solve the economic crisis, to solve the pricing crisis. But at this particular point, these numbers are going in the complete wrong direction. On the economy, the country is going on the wrong track, the right track. You go back to January, these numbers were pretty split, right? 43% said wrong track, 36% said right track, right when Donald Trump came in office. But look at that. That wrong track number has skyrocketed up to 56%. My goodness gracious, who say that the country, at least when it comes to the economy, is on the wrong track. And that right track number, Kate Baldwin, has fallen to 29%. So what was a single-digit spread has ballooned up to a 27-point spread in the negative direction. The bottom line is this. Donald Trump is trying to spin a narrative, and the American people aren't buying the spin that is coming out of the White House.
Now, in these new numbers, what is driving the pessimism?
Yeah, what is driving the pessimism? I mean, we've done a bunch of segments on this, and we're going to continue to do segments on this when polling, like what came out yesterday from NBC News, continues to show it. Top concern for you, economic concern for you and your family. Look at this. Number one, we've said it over and over again. 44%. 44% say inflation. I looked at the second one on it. Look at that. It's all the way back at 9% taxes and take-home pay. It's inflation overwhelmingly driving this economic pessimism. And I will tell you this, until the American people think that inflation is under control, they will continue to have pessimistic feelings about the economy because inflation is numero uno by a wide margin in driving this economic pessimism.
Setting aside the president on this, how does this look party versus party?
Yeah, okay. So I think this is the key thing, right? Because oftentimes they'll say, hey, look, we're blaming the president, but we've seen some polling in which Republicans still lead Democrats. But take a look here. Party trusted more on rising prices. Back in October of 2022, before that midterm election, it was Republicans trusted more by 14 points. You come now, it's a completely different tune. Now Democrats are trusted more by 4 points. So it's not just the president that the American people are turning on when it comes to inflation. It is, in fact, the Republican Party as well. A massive shift to the left towards the Democratic Party.
Where are the prediction markets on all of this?
Okay, so here's, I think, the key question going forward is inflation going to get any better?
Right.
And this is a great chance to use prediction markets. Chance November's CPI year-over-year report equals or is above the previous 3.0%, 80%. The bottom line is this. There is no relief in sight. At this point, it looks like inflation will remain at a level that the American people think is unacceptable.
Yeah, definitely.
It is effectively over for Donald Trump. He is deeply unpopular on virtually every issue. And what's even more damaging is that he is now losing support on several key issues within his own MAGA base. For the first time since Donald Trump became president, And for the first time since he secured the Republican nomination, Republicans are now favoring traditional establishment Republicans over MAGA Republicans. His hold on the party has weakened as his coalition continues to fracture and splinter. Despite this reality, Trump is traveling around the country telling exaggerated stories about how successful everything has supposedly been under his leadership. But that narrative simply does not line up with the facts. He tried to sell that same story in Pennsylvania just last week, and it is exactly why Governor Shapiro publicly shut him down and directly called out his lies. This moment is critical context before we get into Elon Musk's midterm bombshell, because it shows just how vulnerable Donald Trump already is.
I think it is insulting to the people of Pennsylvania that this guy shows up and lies to the good people of Pennsylvania and tries to convince them to unsee something they saw with their own eyes: rising prices at the grocery store and elsewhere. So I guess JD was afraid to upset his boss, and this is what you get: more lies here in Pennsylvania. Good people of Pennsylvania are pretty darn smart, and I know they'll reject JD's BS.
Governor Shapiro is spot on. Donald Trump is not going to get people with pyrotechnics and screaming Hillary Clinton to believe that our economic conditions, that the material conditions of working people aren't drastically worse, because they are. And they have gotten worse because of Donald Trump. The man who promised to make prices go down has now sent them skyrocketing as he focuses on his ballroom and a war that nobody asked for with Venezuela. That is what Donald Trump is locked in on. So no amount of rallies and crazed remarks about Hannibal Lecter is going to change our mind. Donald Trump is struggling, and it's only about to get worse in the midterms, which is why what Elon just announced, one of the biggest problems for Trump the last time that we had a big election. It's bad news. And it starts with Susie Wilds had to say in a recent interview, Fact Post shared Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wilds, on Elon Musk. He's an avowed ketamine user, and he sleeps in a sleeping bag in the EO in the daytime. He's an odd duck. That news also collided with this breaking story this morning. Elon Musk diving into 2026 midterms for the GOP. One Twitter user responded to that story, sharing what the map looked like in Wisconsin the last time Elon Musk got involved in an election. Now, while Elon Musk did help Donald Trump during the presidential election when he tried to repeat that strategy in Wisconsin, we all remember how that turned out. Musk dumped an unprecedented amount of money into a state Supreme Court race, more than had ever been spent before, openly attempting to buy influence and even landing himself in legal trouble in the process. And now he has announced that he's once again dipping his billionaire toes, ones nobody wants to see, back into the waters of American democracy. Elon Musk is officially getting involved in the 2026 midterms, and honestly, what could possibly be worse for MAGA? Their problem won't be fundraising. It won't be the number of TV ads they can afford. Their real problem is that Donald Trump has sold America out to a billionaire oligarchy that is now openly trying to buy our elections again. Musk inserting himself into the midterms hands Democrats in red districts a powerful message as they try to flip seats. Look who is trying to buy your vote once again, and look at the guy who helped get us here in the first place. Elon Musk isn't spending tens of millions. He's not even stopping at hundreds of millions. I wouldn't be shocked if he pours close to $1 billion into upcoming elections. And he's not doing that because he believes he's steering America in the right direction, no matter what he claims. A lot of people once bought that story. They thought, Here's a smart billionaire. He must understand the economy. It's the same lie Donald Trump sold the first time he ran for president. And what did Elon Musk actually do? He slashed millions of jobs. He has already contributed to the suffering and deaths of countless children by dismantling programs the United States relied on. He chose to tear apart how America engages with the rest of the world, deciding that a few $1 million used to keep kids from starving wasn't worth it. That decision didn't just damage America's standing globally, it hurt people here at home. Much of the food aid we send abroad is purchased from American farmers. Farmers struggling right now? Blame Elon. Seeds rotting in Iowa and Nebraska? That's on Elon. Northern New York hurting? Elon again. There's no universe where candidates taking millions of dollars from Elon Musk are viewed positively. This is the man on track to become the world's first trillionaire while families watch their healthcare premiums double and triple. He played a role in that. He enriched himself beyond imagination while people couldn't afford groceries. This is the same guy who was selling Teslas on the White House lawn while Americans were drowning financially. And sure, I'll give him this. He did one good thing. One. He said Donald Trump was in the Epstein files, and then what happened? He immediately walked it back. Every single word. So what goodwill does Elon Musk have left? None. Absolutely none. He is the most unpopular figure in American politics. So while some Republicans might think Elon Musk jumping into the midterms is a win, here's the reality. Money will not save you. It didn't work in New York City, where Zoran Mamdani beat candidates backed by Trump's billionaire donors, and it won't work in these midterms either, especially not when Elon Musk is the one writing the checks. We are done with billionaires. We are done with oligarchy. We are done with the political establishment. And that is exactly what AOC had to say right here.
Mr. Speaker, President Trump ran on a promise to the American people that ICE would go after the worst of the worst. Well, we are now coming up on a year of this presidency, and I want to talk to the folks at home who feel disillusioned by what ICE is doing in our country. Because what we have seen is that ICE is not overwhelmingly going after criminals. In fact, over 70% of people currently detained in detention facilities do not have a criminal record. So who are they going after? They are going after 6-year-olds in my district. They are going after students and permanent residents for their political views. They are going after Americans born and raised in the United States. And time again, Trump has floated taking away citizenship from U.S. citizens based on their ethnicity. At every point, this administration has lied to us about ICE in America, while some of the wealthiest actors in our country have tried to sell us a myth to defend it, including private prison contractors. And that myth, that ideology, is that our immigrant neighbors are our enemies and more dangerous than us. And they sustain that myth because if everybody believes it, they can get away with robbing all of us. I want to remind you where the real crime is. It's in the oligarchs taking $170 billion of our money from health care and food assistance and public programs and taking that and funneling it into a secret police program. It's the authoritarians trying to create a black box because once it is established, they can put political dissidents inside of it. But their hatred is a story, a myth, and we can choose to reject it. Donald Trump and Stephen Miller want you to believe that this is who we are as a country. And we are here to say that it is not. We are a country that has fought and defeated the Confederacy, that has defeated a history of civil rights violations, of secret police, of fascism. We are a country guided by a monument to freedom on the waters of New York City, who shines brightly and welcomes, quote, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free to our shores. So right now, I ask everyone in our country to fight for that ideal, to fight for this legacy. Thank you, and I yield back.
This is a bombshell that is absolutely going to shake Donald Trump. I can promise you that. The tide has clearly turned, and there is nothing he can do to go back to a time when anyone took him, or Elon Musk, seriously, as people who actually knew what they were talking about. We see them now. We see the game they're playing. We understand exactly what they're after, and that is enriching themselves as much as humanly possible. That's what they use the government for. The cuts to USAID weren't done to help you or me. They weren't about efficiency or responsibility. They were about hurting people, because that's what they do. And that's exactly why they need to be called out. And we are absolutely going to do that on this show. If you want to support that work, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.